Hi everyone, welcome to Pinoy Nurse Portal. This is your nurse Rebecca, and today we will talk about prescription medication. It will apply to all of you who will be getting prescription medication and to you nurses who will be discharging patients. You have to know these things that we will discuss today, okay? So if you are interested, please stick around. If you watch my last vlog with this thumbnail over here, you know that we left off talking about prescription medication. Like I said, in the Philippines, if we get discharged or if we go to a doctor's clinic, we are given a paper prescription. What we do is we go to our choice of pharmacy, and then we give that prescription to them. We just fall in line, we wait for our turn to be called, and they will give us our prescription medication right there and then. In the United States, that is totally different. Oh my God, I was so shocked. The first time I have to fill a prescription, this is how they do it. Okay, let's say you went to a doctor's clinic. Let's say you had an oral surgery or you were admitted in the hospital. And after that, upon discharge, they gave you a prescription. Okay, back in the days when I came here, 2006, they still give you a paper prescription. Nowadays, they don't do that anymore, okay? It is automatic now. The hospital where you were admitted will wire, do you call it wire, or maybe fax, or whatever type of communication they have, they will send it to your choice of pharmacy. So what it is to you, nurses who will discharge the patient, it is important to ask your patient the pharmacy they go to. Let's say the most popular pharmacy in the United States is Walgreens, but there are thousands, if not millions, of Walgreens in the United States. Okay, so if they tell you Walgreens, you have to ask which Walgreens. Okay, you have to ask the patient what's the major cross street of your pharmacy. Let's say Walgreens at Indian School and 97th Avenue. That way you will tell the doctor, now doctor, this patient goes to this pharmacy in this address. That way they know where to send the prescription. Okay, why is it important to know where the patient goes to? Because it has to be convenient for them. Okay, it has to be a pharmacy that's close to where they live. Okay. Okay, next, let's say you are the patient and you are given prescription to fill. This is how it's done in the United States. It was a total shock for me. Okay, so if you're given a prescription, like I said, your prescription will be faxed or will be sent to the pharmacy of your choice. So upon discharge, you don't go to your pharmacy first, okay? Because it will not be filled immediately. Let's say you were discharged at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Your prescription will not be ready by that time. So what I will tell you to do is call them, okay, before going to the pharmacy, because you will be wasting your time. Okay, so you call them, hey, my name is, let's say, Rebecca, and they will ask you for some information. That's why it's also important that your information is correct upon discharge. Make sure that the information you have in your pharmacy is the same information you have in the hospital where you are admitted. True story, when my daughter had an oral surgery, so I went to the pharmacy to pick up her prescription. And in that pharmacy, it still has our old address from our apartment. And I don't remember that apartment because that was 9 years ago. Oh my God, that was really, really hard. So lesson learned, the information in your pharmacy has to be updated, and the information from your hospital or from your clinic has to be updated. You have to have the same information like phone number and your current address. Okay, so let's say you moved from a different state to another state. Make sure that you update your pharmacy information. That way, it will save you time in the future. You learned that from my mistake. Next, how are you billed for your prescription medication? It's the same thing when you go to a doctor's clinic or an urgent care. For your prescription medication, all you have to pay is your copay. So a copay is a fixed amount of money you have to pay in exchange of service or a prescription. When you go to urgent care, you have a certain amount of copay you need to pay. And if you go to a PCP, same thing. Usually urgent care is more expensive. You know why? Because you could just walk in. So for me, my copay is $30 for my urgent care. If I go to my PCP, it's $20 because you have to call an appointment and you don't get an appointment the next day. It usually takes days, weeks, and even months. When you go to emergency department, you will also have a different copay and it's usually more expensive. Nowadays, it's $350 or it depends on your type of insurance. So it's the same thing with your prescription medication, okay? If you have an insurance and if you happen to have a good one, you will likely pay a small portion of that prescription's amount, which is a copay. It could range from $5 to $10. It depends on how many prescription you have to fill that day. Next, let's say you are given a prescription like an over-the-counter prescription medication, like for example, Tylenol, ibuprofen, and even Zantac is now an over-the-counter medication. So here's what you need to do. Let's say you have a really good insurance and you know that you have a good one. When you go fill the prescription in your pharmacy, or when you go pick up that prescription in your pharmacy, you have to ask them, how much is my copay for the Tylenol and ibuprofen? Do you know why that is important to ask? Because you have to make sure that what you're paying is not more than what you're paying over the counter. Let's say, for example, for 30 tablets over the counter without the prescription, you pay $14. But if your copay in the pharmacy with your insurance is only like $2 or $5, then take that prescription, Tylenol or ibuprofen or whatever over-the-counter medication you need to take, okay? Next, prescription refill. Let's say you always take hypertensive medication or whatever maintenance medication you take. Every time you go to your PCP, you have to ask, can this medication have a refill? Okay, what does that mean? Your prescription, the one they will send to your pharmacy, will have an instruction that says refill. It could be ×1 or ×2. What does that mean? Let's say, for example, your hypertensive medication, you are given a 30-day supply. If the doctor wrote a ×1 refill, it means you can just call your pharmacy and say, hey, my prescription is done for this month. Can I get a refill? If the doctor wrote a ×1 refill, it means you can get another 30-day supply because he wrote a ×1 refill. If he wrote refill ×2, that means you will get a refill for 2 more months of supply. Is that clear? If it's not clear, you could always ask me a question through the comment section below. And there you have it, guys. I hope you learned something in today's episode of Pinoy Nurse Portal. Once again, this is your nurse, Rebecca, saying thank you so much. If you're not a subscriber yet, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please comment down below. See you on our next vlog. Okay, next, you as a patient going home with a prescription. Let's say you had an, I have a delivery. Wait lang.